In this video, I'm going to take you to a little ghost town by the name of Grafton, Utah. Its big claim to fame is it has been this back scenery for many Western movies, including Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Okay, let's go see Grafton, Utah. And after the video, I'll do a little cooking segment. About 8 miles from Springfield, Utah, is the ghost town of Grafton, Utah. It was settled by a group of Mormons led by Nathan Tinney from nearby Virgin, Utah, to a site 1 mile downstream of today's Grafton Ghost Town. The settlers of Grafton built buildings and planted crops. Grafton was so zealous in its first year of cotton cultivation that farmers didn't plant enough corn and cane and other crops to feed their families. In coming years, Virgin River farmers would scale back cotton in favor of food production. In January 1862, a raging flood destroyed most of Grafton. A resident of Virgin, Utah, wrote, "The houses in Old Grafton came floating down with the furniture, clothing, and other property of the inhabitants, some of which were hauled out of the water, including barrels of molasses." After the flood of 1862, Grafton settlers relocated to a higher ground 1 mile upstream of their first town, where the current town site now stands. Between 1862 and 1866, Grafton's troubles were not over. Between flooding of irrigation dams and irrigation ditches filling with sand, it required much work from the settlers. During these years, death came in its usual manner, taking old, the sick, and very young. The Grafton Cemetery holds 6 babies from these years, all under the age of 1. In 1866, Grafton became a ghost town for the first time, when the Utah Territory was settled with Upper Virginia River Valley was already inhabited by native southern Paiute peoples. At the same time, Navajo people living south of the Colorado River were squeezed between pioneer settlement in Arizona to the south and Utah to the north. In 1866, when Mormon settlers were killed by Navajo raiders, Brigham Young ordered villages in southern Utah to combine into towns of at least 150 men. In 1896, Utah became a U.S. state, and Grafton bustled until 1906, when a newly built canal delivered Virgin River water to the wide, flat hurricane bench 20 miles downstream. To escape years of bare subsistence on limited acreage and loss of fields from repeated floods, Grafton's men helped build the Hurricane Canal. Then many Grafton families packed everything, some even their houses, and moved to Hurricane. In 1945, without enough children to warn a school and lacking culinary water and electricity standard in other communities, Grafton gradually became a ghost town for the second time. Grafton is now listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Grafton's buildings recall a forgotten life way. Towns like these are rare. Most pioneer village lost their heart as they grew or were destroyed in floods. In 1886, Grafton residents hauled lumber 75 miles from Mount Trumbull and gathered clay west of town, construct the adobe schoolhouse that still stands at the heart of Grafton. Some of the movies that have been shot in Grafton include In Old Arizona in 1929, The Arizona Kid in 1930, Ramrod in 1947, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid in 1969, Child Bride of Short Creek 1981, and The Red Fury in 1984. The Grafton Heritage Partnership Project is a 501c nonprofit corporation dedicated to the preservation of historic Grafton town site. Donations are grateful and received and tax deductible. I will include the address, phone number, and website in the description of this video if you are interested in supporting the Grafton Heritage Partnership Project. Now let's go back to camp at Zion River Resort and cook some dinner. Hi, it's Lonnie from Crafty Traveler, and today I'm going to do a little cooking video. My husband had already cooked a piece of steak, so we're just going to warm that up in the microwave. He says that's fine, but I have a piece of salmon that I'm going to cook in my electric griddle, and then I'll do some vegetable in the microwave, and we'll also have some salad. So I've placed the piece of steak in a little microwavable pan, and I'm only going to put it in there for a minute or so just to warm it up. It's already been cooked and frozen, and now we've thawed it, so we're going to warm it up. Now while that's cooking, I'm going to spray a little Pam in the electric skillet. So I'm spraying a little Pam in the skillet. The skillet is still turned off. Now I've had the steak in the microwave just for a minute. I'm going to take it out and test it. And the steak is steaming hot. Just what my husband likes. I used the same dish that I cooked the steak in, and I opened a can of corn and added some butter, and I'll put that in the microwave for about a minute. I put the pre-seasoned salmon piece in the grill, and now I'm going to start to cook it. I'm putting it on low to cook it slowly. As you can see, it's already starting to sizzle. Turn it over and get a hold of it. Shouldn't take long. Unplug it. There, my salmon. Okay, so we have our salad, corn, Ernie has his steak, and I have my salmon. Have you tasted it yet?
I'm ready.
Go for it. Good?
Just right.
Let's find a fork. It's very flaky. Good job. I did a good job. I don't cook very often, and I don't cook for him very often. So for him to say that, I feel good. Alrighty, stay crafty when you're cooking dinner for your husband. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up, share, comment, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video of Grafton, Utah, and my little cooking segment. Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up, share, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to push that bell. Stay crafty when visiting ghost towns and cooking for your husband.